Hey, party people. This is Axel. Thank you for listening to If the Imagination and Fantasy Podcast. We know that without listeners like you, this podcast wouldn't exist. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. We hope you love what you hear. This episode is part of an 11-part series. For the best experience, we suggest you start at episode 1 and listen to the episodes in order. Thank you again. I'll shut up now and let you get to the stuff you came here for, which is obviously not to hear me ramble.
Tech Witch, Episode 110. Nothing will be the same again. Written by Trey Livingston. Story by Damian Taylor and Trey Livingston. Narration by Caitlin Martin. A land of hard, cracked soil, blanketed by a sky of endless gray sadness. Desolation in every direction. The space between life and death. The space where those of incredible power dwell side by side with those capable of immense terror. This is where Lowell and Bridgette find themselves, hands still connected as they were in the Hall of Witches. The realization of where they are hits them, like being jolted awake from a lucid dream. They break apart. Bridgette, we're back in this place. Lowell, but I don't see Grand-Mère. Bridgette, look! They run over to the only other person they can see. Kylie, alive, but incredibly weak. Bridgette kneels beside her. She's breathing, but barely. Helene, better say goodbye to your friend. You haven't much time of your own. They turn around. Jean, Helene, and the rest of the Witches' Council are there, recovering from their sudden snap into this world. Helene and Jean stand tall, ready to attack Lowell and Bridgette. The siblings straighten, ready to fight. Lowell, you think we just wound up here because of chance? We're here because my power brought us here. You're on our terms now. So you better surrender, or else. Bridgette, is that true? Did you do this? Lowell, I have no idea. Just roll with it. Helene and Jean smirk at each other, neither afraid of Lowell's big talk. Jean, impressive child. Now it's time for us to show you real power. The Witches' Council activate their powers, but not to attack Lowell or Bridgette. They have their sights set on Jean. A council member. We will not stand for this anymore. Your heresy has led us too far astray. Stand down. Jean. Never. Jean unleashes purple bolts from his fingertips. They stab the council members, draining them of their essence. As the power funnels into Jean, he siphons the chaos energy to Helene. It builds inside her, pulses. Her skin shatters, crumbles, gives way to scales. A tail emerges. Fangs pierce through her gums as she grows, towering before them, a massive snake creature with only the faintest semblance of her human visage remaining. She focuses on Lowell and Bridgette. Helene, I hunger for more power. Your power. Give it to me. Lowell ignites. Golden energy engulfs his body. Lowell, come and get it. Jean. He's the key. Ignore the girl. Feast on him. Helene slithers across the barren landscape with frightening speed, leaving a deep imprint in the ground. Lowell launches into the air and flies? His fists swell with the golden energy. Helene snaps at him. Lowell's illuminated fists land a series of percussive punches before Helene clamps down on him. Jean watches maniacally. A blade of chaos magic materializes in his palm. He hides behind Helene's massive form, awaiting the perfect opportunity to strike. Helene and Lowell continue their back and forth, neither relinquishing an inch. Jean looks over to Kylie on the ground, Bridgette by her side. He aims his hand, unleashes a band of chaotic energy that lifts Kylie into the air. Bridgette. Kylie! Lowell swivels his head around, leaving himself wide open. Helene snaps her mighty jaws. Her fangs puncture Lowell's shoulder. He cries out. His body releases a burst of concentrated gold energy that separates him from Helene. He lands hard on the compacted earth, struggling to move as his wound bubbles with purple, chaotic magic. Jean. Kill him, Helene. Now is your chance. Instead, she turns to Kylie. Helene. I want to make him suffer. Watching her death is the cost of his defiance. Jean, wait. Helene grows even bigger, her fangs gleaming. In a desperate attempt to save his daughter, Jean releases the energy band that held Kylie in the air, lets her fall. Bridgette dives for her, but Kylie's too far away. She'll never make it. Until Lowell reaches out to Bridgette. His golden energy leaves his body, splitting apart into a beam of green witch mana that engulfs Bridgette and a beam of magenta tech energy that bores into Lowell's chest. Bridgette absorbs the mana, uses it to move with unnatural speed. She catches Kylie just before she hits the ground and blasts Jean. Lowell leaps into the air and fires his tech energy directly into Helene's open jaws, straight down her evil throat. Lowell, you want to eat something? Eat this. She attempts to absorb the energy he feeds her. She expands with power. Helene gleefully chuckles. Her voice echoes in the air from every direction. You fool. You're only making me stronger. Lowell, you sure about that? Lowell's power surges. Helene's eyes fill with the one emotion she's never known. Fear. She grows to the size of a skyscraper. Cracks emerge between her scales, revealing bright magenta light beneath. Purple vapor seeps out. Helene unleashes a pained cry. Lowell's fount of energy fuels him, allows him to grow as large as Helene. He grabs her by her serpentine neck and slams her down. Lowell. Now! Bridgette, now! Lowell rolls Helene's back towards Bridgette, exposes the cracks in her scales. Bridgette springs into the air, hands clasped. A mana blade takes shape in her palms. She raises her hands above her head and plunges the blade into an exposed crack, piercing Helene's skin. Helene cries a sound wave that ruptures the very fabric of reality in this unreal place. The purple vapors of chaos magic flow from Helene's writhing body. They engulf the council, swallow Jean as he cradles Kylie, and swarm the Mathieu children. Lowell and Bridgette's glowing auras allow them to keep each other in sight. The murky vapors solidify around them, like water into ice. Lowell and Bridgette move closer towards each other. He reaches for his sister. She reaches for her brother. This saved them once before. But now, as the vapors overwhelm them, they must save themselves. A burst of green mana, an explosion of magenta energy. Two blinding flashes blend together into golden light. One that gradually fades away. To Lowell, Bridgette, and all the others, right back where they began in the ceremony room at the Hall of Witches. It hits Jean first as he sees the council members come too. Bridgette helps Lowell to his feet. Jean looks down. He cradles Kylie, only for... whack! Kylie pushes him away the instant she recognizes his face. Don't touch me! Jean, you have to understand. That you're crazy? That you were about to let me be killed by a giant snake monster? What's there to understand? A council member. Our powers. The council studies their hands in disbelief, each one knowing something is missing. A realization that turns their disbelief into anger. Anger they focus solely on Jean. A council member. Our powers are gone. Something approaches from the shadows of the chamber. Lowell and Bridgette power up, prepping for another attack when... a feral Mark Chris leaps upon Jean. His body battered and bruised, his mouth still sealed with a metal plate. Mark grips Jean in a headlock. He swings his fist to strike, but it's caught by another council member. The others restrain his arms and legs. He fights, but it's no use. Their numbers overwhelm him, and his powers are also no more. Jean, my powers. What's happened to my powers? Lowell, you trusted a snake, Jean. What do you think would happen? The council drags Jean away. Help me! Bridgette gives Kylie an encouraging nod. It's up to her to decide what they do next. Kylie tearfully glances back at her father. Let's get out of here. Outside, Lowell breathes in a deep hit of fresh air. Feels like the first truly relaxing one he's had in a long time. He looks to Bridgette and Kylie. None of them truly know what to say next. a desperate silence broken by a joyous cry belonging to Luna and Xavier. "Brigitte! Lowell!" The parents embraced their children, an emotional reunion. Back at the Mathieu home, Luna hands Kylie a cup of steaming hot tea, a soothing gesture she offers along with a comforting hand upon her shoulder. Kylie stays put by the wall as Luna joins the rest of her family at the dinner table. "Xavier, you fought against the most evil of magics, and done something that almost no one else has." "Lowell, what's that?" "Luna, live." "Xavier, you've made your mark on the magical world. You'll need to keep this safe on your journey." Xavier slides the ancient book over to Lowell. "Kylie, wait, we're going somewhere?" "Brigitte, we are, just me and Lowell." "Kylie, but what about me? My whole life is ruined." Kylie grows instantly woozy. She drops her tea, but Brigitte catches it, fully aware of what's going on. Kylie's eyes fall shut and her body topples over. Luna catches her and seamlessly slides her into a cozy chair. "Lowell, was that necessary?" "Luna, no one can see what comes next. Her father used her as a spy against you. It's too soon to tell if she's still within his reach. But don't worry, we'll make sure she's safe." Lowell nods, accepts it. "Xavier, now about the book." Lowell, "Yeah, about that." Lowell stands and holds his hand over the book. Energy pours out of his palm and incinerates the book. Luna, "What are you doing?" Luna reaches for the book as it burns away. Brigitte catches her wrist and holds her back. "Brigitte, if I can trust him now, anyone can." Luna steps back. A part of her may even hate to admit, but Brigitte makes a great point. Lowell raises his free hand in the direction of his computer in his room upstairs. Scanned pages of the book flash across the screen. Tech energy flows from the computer, climbs up his arms, his chest, and his neck until it reaches his head where it takes form as circuitry. Small pulses of magenta energy race around his face like data through a network. The entirety of the scanned book downloads into him. The computer then explodes in a dazzling array of fiery sparks. Xavier jumps, startled by the sound. Lowell's energy recoils and the circuits around his face slowly fade. Lowell, "Sorry about the mess." Xavier, "Mess?" Lowell, "The book is in me now. We'll keep it safe." Xavier takes a deep exhale. He knows the gravity of what comes next. He faces Lowell and hugs him. "I know you will, son." He looks towards Luna. "We know. We both do." At the front door, Xavier and Luna hug their children one last time. Kylie is fast asleep inside on the couch. She snores a sharp, sudden snort, one that rattles her otherwise peaceful slumber. Purple vapor oozes out of her nostrils before quickly fading away. Lowell and Bridgette take one last look at their parents, their home, their past lives. Bridgette, "So this is really happening. A few weeks ago, we were just two kids worried about homework. And whatever the hell it is Lowell cares about." Lowell, "I care about us. And video games. But mostly us." Bridgette, "You ready?" Lowell, "I guess we're gonna find out." Lowell adjusts the strap of his bag slung over his shoulder. Together, he and Bridgette walk toward the rising sun. End of Season 1.